If you've ever packed for a beach day and ended up with too much stuff, not enough shade, or nowhere comfortable to relax, this video is for you. Today I'm building 3 different beach setups under $300, from a solo setup to a family setup, to find out which one makes for the easiest beach day. We're starting with the family setup, and this was actually our first time setting up this particular canopy. Once we got the hang of it, it came together pretty quickly and gave us plenty of shade. Now, this Crown Shades brand typically runs around $100 to $300, although there are definitely less expensive options out there if you get a smaller canopy or one with a simpler construction. I've seen one starting at about $42 on Google. For seating, stadium chairs can be very affordable, running you $5 to $10 per chair, while beach loungers can range anywhere from $30 to $60 when you catch them on sale. For us, this setup comfortably fits about 4 adults and a couple of kids, with room for chairs, smaller coolers, and all the beach gear. When I talk about beach setups under $300 though, I'm really talking about the core of the setup: your shade, your seating, and maybe a couple of small tables. Accessories can add to the cost, but you can absolutely create a comfortable family beach setup within this budget range. And one thing we've learned over the years is that some beach gear is worth spending a little bit more on. We've replaced plenty of inexpensive chairs and umbrellas, while some of our favorite loungers have lasted us more than 10 years, and our canopies typically last at least 3 years. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. The second setup was the one I was most excited to try because I've been wanting to create a beach haven that works for me as a solo traveler. I'm a lover of the beach, so I wanted something that would work for a solo beach day, but still have enough room for a couple of adults or even a small family. The tent itself cost $86, and I was surprised by how easy it was to set up and the quality of the tent considering the cost. It comes with built-in sandbags and tent stakes, and that was a nice bonus when you're dealing with beach wind. To turn it into an all-day beach setup, I added a pair of floor loungers that cost about $70 for the set, along with a small camping table for around $15, and my core setup altogether was $180. Now, I definitely got a little carried away with this one. I added things like a fan, a speaker, and a few organization accessories because I wanted to see what a really comfortable beach day could look like. But the nice thing was that those extras are completely optional, and I still came out under my $300 budget for this setup. What I loved most was the privacy. It felt like having my own little haven on the beach. I was reading and relaxing and napping and talking with my parents and just having the best time. Now, the biggest downside was airflow. When the breeze was blowing, it was fantastic, but when the wind died down, it was stifling. For cooler climates, breezier beaches, or someone who values privacy over airflow, I think this setup is a great option. For my third setup, I went with a classic beach umbrella setup, and honestly, this one ended up surprising me the most. I splurged a little with a $70 umbrella, $60 beach chair, and both were absolutely worth it. I added a beach blanket and a small table, but depending on the items that you choose, a setup like this can range from $800 to $200. And what I loved most was how easy everything was to carry and set up. I thought originally that the tent would be my favorite, but this ended up being my top choice as a solo traveler because I had everything: shade, comfort, amenities, and the breeze. So I think this works great for solo travelers, couples, and smaller families. Just keep in mind that even with 3 or 4 people who love to be in the water, you're going to need a lot of shade at some point of the day if you're going to be out there all day. So 2 umbrellas are better than 1 for that kind of scenario. Before I finish up, I wanted to share a few bonus items that took these setups from comfortable to over the top. The biggest surprise was the standing fan. It was an absolute game changer, especially in that tent setup. It worked better than the ceiling fan, and it will work for non-windy days or an enclosed tent. A portable power bank is another must-have, one with a lot of power. I got a $20 one with 50,000 milliamp hours, and that thing kept my phone and headphones and speaker and iPad charged throughout long beach days without any issues. I also fell in love with my inflatable beach pillow, chair clips, and beach blanket. I mean, where was that beach pillow all my life? They made my setups noticeably more comfortable. And finally, my favorite discovery was the low reclining lounger. I've seen people use these for years. I just didn't know how good they could be. Now, none of these are necessities, but they definitely made my beach day a lot more enjoyable. And just when I thought I figured out my perfect beach setup, I had one more idea. What if I combined all three? The canopy became the main gathering space, the tent created a private retreat off to one side, and the umbrella extended the shade and added another space to relax. What surprised me the most was how well everything worked together. If I had a family of 4 or 5, I think I'd be perfectly happy with just the tent and umbrella combination. The umbrella extends the usable space of the tent and gives people options for lounging and reading and relaxing throughout the day. But for larger groups, adding the canopy takes things to another level. With room for 4 to 6 people under the canopy, another 2 or 3 in the tent, and a couple more under the umbrella, everybody has options. Some people can hang out in the main gathering area, some can relax in the tent, especially little ones who may need a nap, and others can enjoy the breeze under the umbrella a little closer to the water. There were only 3 of us on this trip, so we definitely didn't need all the space, but it was fun to see how the setups complemented each other and created different zones for relaxing throughout the day. And honestly, next time the whole family heads to the beach, we'll be ready. Between kids and grandkids and everyone else, we're up to 10 and counting, and I can absolutely see a setup like this making for a comfortable all-day beach experience. After trying all 3 setups, I have to admit, I was surprised by which one ended up being my favorite. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these beach setups would you choose? And while you're down in the comments, tell me your beach must-have. What's the one item you'd never go to the beach without? Thanks so much for spending time at the beach with me today. And remember, my dear, a life well lived is a life well traveled. So travel well, and we'll catch up in the next one. Bye.